Welcome to Thriving Tribesmen. My name is Corey, your host, and I'm excited to be making this episode. So I was on Reddit because that's where I get my content for the video series of this podcast. If you want to go and check out the channel, it is Thriving underscore Tribesmen, and I'm just going to dive in a little bit onto a topic that I thought was going to be interesting, where a guy was asking, does marriage counseling ever work? So the video for this is going to be in full. You can watch it in full, and you actually see some of the things that I do. I'll be reacting to the actual post on itself. So I'll go even deeper. But here I'm just going to give you a definitive answer on it. It's no, and the reason why is that when it comes to sexless relationships, and you guys just having a disagreement where you cannot find or you want somebody to mediate, it's completely different. In fact, when it comes to mediation, it's more about a logical solution, or you're trying to find, you've got two opposing logical solutions, and you're not just trying to find a way of agreeing without having this emotional investment to it. So there's so much emotional investment, nobody's budging, and it's now just really trying to find, how do I become okay with taking something that I'm not okay with taking, which is completely different, and which is what marriage counseling role is, where how do I deal with getting something, or at least giving in to something that I might not want to happen, which is right for the relationship and the family as well. So that's the role of marriage counseling. Whereas for a sexless relationship, it's all about the behavioral things that are happening. So when it comes to sex, it's a behavioral process that happens in order to get to continuous sex. And if the counselor does not understand that, then they start off by showing you the wrong side of the problem. So they're now trying to process the wrong part of the problem, especially if they're looking at it from a logical perspective. A lot of it as well, if it's a woman, she will not understand how a man should act in order to be seductive to their partner. She might i- see how she feels seduction is different to how your wife will feel seduction, and therefore she will give you the wrong information. And if it's a man, he might have methods that he has used in order to seduce his wife or his partner, or their partner, and therefore they will not understand what to do in terms of getting your partner aroused, because they could have want. In fact, my therapist was a gay guy, and if that guy had brought him in for a relationship, he would have never understood what it's like to seduce a woman. So you have to put this into account and think, okay, what are we actually doing here when we go to therapist? Because most people, when they go to therapist, they just are trying to what's the word I was going to use? Is that they're trying to outsource somebody to tell to speak for them, basically. So it's not that I've tried to speak to you, you don't understand, so let me try another source. So like recently, we're trying to change the flooring in our kitchen, and I was thinking about doing it. Then I realized that it might be actually more work than I imagine. It's final flooring. So instead of to try and cut things short, I started thinking about how do I cut it short, and I just realized that there's actually machines that can do that. So I've, instead of me going to buy a machine, which is ridiculously expensive, I ended up hiring a machine to do so. So I'm now outsourcing a machine in order to do, and it's going to serve its purpose, and I'll send it back. Now, in this case where you're trying to change a sexless relationship, if you've already logically tried to explain to your wife why it's important to her and your relationship, putting it in a counseling setting to logically figure out how it's going on is probably just a horrible idea. And without that, even actually, I can go even a little bit deeper. The counselors have got conflict of interest in them trying to serve you quickly. They'll give you 10 sessions, and then within those 10 sessions, it will be enough for them to then say, okay, I now have identified the problem. Now let's go for another 10 sessions to sort out the problem. And really, well, from a business perspective, getting customers is the hardest part of any business. So once they get you in, it's really more about trying to get you to get you the result, but they'll get you the result in a manner that is getting them some fine, or at least getting them financially stable. Whereas for us reignited men, once you pay, I have to get you as a result as quick as possible, which is completely different because we have to get the results as quick as possible. So as a brand, that's what we've talked about. But at the same time, the longer you stay with us, the less money I would make. So I'm committed to get you a result as quick as possible. So this is some of the things I've discovered. And when it comes, just answering the question, uh, does it ever work? To a certain extent, it does. Again, you have to. I cannot say they're all bad, but majority will be bad for a sexless relationship based on the fact that it's a behavioral problem rather than a logical, emotional, that's whatever they will take you through, which is, I mean, uh, 8 out of 10 of the guys within Reignited Men have been through some sort of marriage counseling, anyways, and that's the same thing. They've gone through marriage counseling on the brink of divorce, and then we started working together, and things have now changed. So this is why I think it's terrible. Now, are all therapists best? No. Like I said, I've had a therapist that got me to understand how my behaviors were influenced by negative emotions. So I just did not have the tools to deal with negative emotions. And by getting a handle of that, I stopped self-destructive behaviors that were, for me personally, self-destructing, but also self-destructing in terms of the relationships that are around me. So it's that was the most powerful thing. And if you're going counseling and doing that for yourself or therapy, I cannot recommend it enough. But in terms of marriage therapists, the fucking waste of time. So okay, I'm gonna stop here. And guys, if you want to learn more, go to the Thriving Tribesman YouTube channel, and you'll be able to see as I react to a video on this, and it's an actual some person that has asked this question to give us a bit more detail. Then you hear my reaction on what I think about this. So thank you very much. I'll be seeing you guys soon. Take care.